Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to another video. Today I've got Game Week 45 of the Championship review for you. Apologies for this one coming out a bit late. It's been quite busy lately and just didn't get round to making it, but managed to get some of it done tonight. So yeah, pretty big game week. Just one to go now. But yeah, let's get straight into this one. The action began on a Friday with Fulham playing Sunderland, and they won 2-1. It's a close game though. Aston Villa drew 1-1 with Derby, Barnsley beat Brentford, Burton beat Bolton, Hull lost at home to Cardiff, Norwich beat Leeds, Forest drew a blank against Bristol City, QPR beat Birmingham 3-1, Ipswich won 4-0 at Reading, Sheffield United lost an important game against Preston, Wolves drew 0-0 with Sheffield Wednesday, and in the late kick-off, Middlesbrough beat Millwall. Okay, so starting with that game on the Friday then, so it was another important win for Fulham, although it was at 1-1 for quite a while, and Sunderland could have had a penalty as well, I think, at 1-0, so could have gone either way, but Mitrovic been the star man for Fulham ever since he signed. He scored the goal that keeps their, I think, 23 games now they're unbeaten for, and yes, an unreal record, but I think Sunderland were ironically the last team to beat them, but anyway, only means Fulham were third as Cardiff won, and as for Sunderland, yeah, they will finish bottom of the table, and they've got a lovely home game against Wolves on the final day, whereas for Fulham it's a trip to Birmingham. And on to Saturday's game, starting with a big one at the top of the table between Aston Villa and Derby. So the result didn't actually mean too much for either side. Derby remain in the playoffs, as do Villa. Automatic promotion was out of reach for them anyway. But yeah, Derby do need to get some points on the last day though to make sure they get into that top six. And yeah, Villa are guaranteed fourth now, I think. So it's just about getting some momentum for them. But yeah, an away game at Millwall. A huge win for Barnsley at the bottom of the table, and that lifted them out of the bottom three, albeit only on goal difference, but nevertheless, yeah, a massive win for them, and 2-0 against Brentford, and yes, they effectively ended Brentford's playoffs hopes with that victory, but nevertheless, still good comeback from Brentford. I think when Norwich beat them, I didn't see them making the playoffs, but they've done well, and I think they can finish as high as 8th, so yeah, but on to Barnsley anyway, yeah, big win for them, and gives them some hope going into the final day. The Great Escape could well be truly on for Burton Albion, and certainly not the same story for Fulham. But yeah, 3 wins in a row for Burton, and I think they now just separated between the bottom and the other part of the table. Good speaking from me there. Yeah, just goal difference separating them, and as for Bolton at 23rd, still can get out of it if they beat Forest on the final day. But yeah, not an easy game for the Brewers either. They're travelling to Preston, who are looking to get to the playoffs. But nevertheless, a great win for them. Cardiff showing after their defeat against Derby that still got it all left in the tank, and it was Sean Morrison perhaps getting some redemption for him after his horror show on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. I'm really struggling, I think, at the moment, but yeah, pretty much perfect for Cardiff. A win on the final day against Reading will seal their promotion. There is nothing Fulham can do about that. As for Hull, I think they are destined to finish 18th, and they finished the season at Brentford. Blank between Forest and Bristol City, which doesn't really do either team any good at all. Bristol had effectively ended their playoff hopes. They've really struggled in 2018, I have to say. I think they were second before. Yeah, I don't really know what's happened there. I think ever since they lost at home to Norwich, they've gone downhill. But then if you're losing at home to Norwich, then yeah, your season should go downhill from there. But yeah, it doesn't do much for Forest, although they do have an important part on the last day playing Bolton, so they could wreck Bolton's chances of staying up. But yeah, Bristol play Sheffield United, and that one is now yeah, a nothing game. Wes Hoolahan's final game for Norwich ended with a win against Leeds in, well, as to be say, a mid-table 6-pointer. Both these teams that started the day on the same points, and consequently one moves up and one moves down. But yeah, good for Norwich to finish the season with a win at home. Hopefully they can hold on to 12th, play Sheffield Wednesday on the last day. And as for Leeds, I think another 6-pointer for them against QPR at home. So yeah, maybe got something to play for still. Another win at home for QPR. They've been really good at home in this year. I remember watching them trounce Norwich 4-1, but yeah, let's not talk too much about that. As for Birmingham, it leaves them still with the chance of going down, albeit quite a slim one, I think, looking at the other teams in there. But a tough game for them on the final day at home to Fulham, whereas QPR, it's a trip to Leeds. A great win for Ipswich at Reading to leave the Royals still in a little bit of trouble in 19th, same points as Birmingham, although there is, as I said, a pretty slim chance that they will get relegated. But yeah, tough game for both these teams on the final day. It's a home game against Borough for Ipswich, and it's an away game at Cardiff for Reading. But yeah, Ipswich scoring 4 goals away from home, so yeah, welcome to life without Mick McCarthy, I guess. Big win for Preston away at Sheffield United, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Yeah, and it ended Sheffield United's playoff hopes as well. And as I said before, they played Bristol City, and that game doesn't really mean anything now. But good strong finish to the season for Preston. 3 wins and 4 in a home game against Burton, who are fighting for relegation. So it's not going to be an easy game by any means for them, but certainly they've got hope of maybe catching 6th on the last day. But yeah, I think Derby will probably hold on. A rare blank for Nuno's men, but nevertheless Wolves still crowned champions. Well, we knew that already, but they officially celebrated it this weekend, and they finished the season at Sunderland. And so well done to Wolves. Fully deserved promotion, fully deserved to be winners of the league. And Sheffield Wednesday home game against Norwich next, so I think they can still finish 15th if they get a win. But goalless draw here. And finally, it was a big game in terms of the playoffs between Middlesbrough and Millwall, and Borough came out on top and effectively ended Millwall's playoff hopes. So, it seals Borough's playoff spot too. Important win for them, and got Ipswich on the final day, and Millwall have at Villa. But nevertheless, I think Millwall, despite the last 3 games, have done fantastically well to get themselves into contention and got themselves into the playoffs at one stage, but couldn't hold on. But can certainly take massive amounts of confidence from the second half of their season. As for our summary, I gave result of the game week to Ipswich for scoring 4 goals in 20 minutes at Reading. We could have been a couple, Borough, but I gave it to Barnsley as that lifted them out of the relegation zone. Only one, Wes Houlihan, search it and you'll see why. Well, you probably disagree with me. But prediction score, not too bad this week, 8 correct results and 4 exact scores. Promotion, Wolves and Cardiff. Like I said, I've been back in Cardiff for 4 or 5 weeks now, and I think I'm going to be proved right. And as for relegation, Sunderland are already gone, and I think Burton and Bolton are going to be the other 2 teams that go down, as I don't think Burton are going to beat Preston, and I don't think Bolton will beat Nottingham Forest either. So yeah, that's the end of the season and a summary of this week's game week. Having a look at the table this week then, you can see Wolves 99 points, so they can get 102 points then. That'd be a fantastic result for them. And yet Cardiff still 1 point ahead of Fulham, although Fulham do have a superior goal difference, so as long as Cardiff match or better Fulham's result, they will be promoted. And for the playoffs at Derby and Preston, it's between, although Derby do have a superior goal difference there, so a point for them should be enough. As for Preston, they need to get all 3 points against Burton and hope that Derby lose to Barnsley. But that's where we bring in the rest, as Burton need a win to stay up, but Burton need to better Barnsley's result to get above them. And also Birmingham and Reading as well could slip back into it, but it's not looking too good for Bolton. They do have Nottingham Forest on the final day, so they can catch Barnsley. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fascinating final day, I have to say. Plenty happening at the top, plenty happening at the bottom, and yeah, here we go. And finally, looking at those final day fixtures, so Birmingham hosting Fulham. That's a big game for both teams actually. Bolton playing Forest, Brentford playing Hull, Bristol playing Sheffield United. Cardiff playing Reading, Derby played Barnsley, Ipswich played Borough, Leeds played QPR, Millwall played Villa, Preston played Burton, Sheffield Wednesday played Norwich, and Sunderland finished the season at home to Wolves. So yeah, like I said, it should be a really good final day, and I'll probably have a more extended video that'll be uploaded sometime next week about what's happened, and then I think I'll have one season review as well, just looking back at all the predictions I've made and just pretty much seeing how right it was. I think the league table I predicted at the start of the season isn't too bad actually, although I don't think I got Wolves right. But anyway, thanks for watching. As usual, guys, you can probably tell in my voice at the moment that I'm struggling a little bit. The workload is quite high at the moment, but still enjoying YouTube. It is a way out for me at the end of the day, and thank you for all the support, all the continued support that you've given me in 2018, because you remember I only really started doing YouTube again in 2018. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far, but all the best, and I'll see you later.